I heard a beautiful story written in Glennon Doyle's Untamed. It says like this: when starting a new journey, there's no map to use. If you are someone trying something new, someone trying to build something of your own, there are a few things you need to understand. Because of these things, whenever you immediately start doubting your strength, whenever you don't believe in your own ability, come back again and again and listen to this video. Number 1. If no one in your generation has ever done something big for success before, then on this lonely journey, the fear you feel is stronger. Our ability to take risks, to direct life in the way we want, to build self-confidence. All of these are influenced by the environment we've lived in, by how people around us, our relatives have lived, by the examples we've had to take from them. Think from a moment. If you don't have such an example, then what you are doing in transcending your entire generation. Sometimes you have to build patience, endurance, inspiration and discipline that your generation never had. You have to learn to keep focus on what is necessary for you. When your mind tells you, stop, you don't know what you are doing, that will happen. But ignoring that, you have to go on your journey. I sometimes think about what digital marketer Deepak Kanakaraju says, that moving away from the familiar environment of your village is the best career move. That statement is true because some of the people who know you best won't believe in what you are trying to do. I have also heard another story that many times the person who believes in your strength and entrusts you with work is often someone who never knew you before. Rare, such moments happen. But either way, the people around you who don't understand your dream, working for it is like swimming upstream. Still, think of it like this. Your ancestors are giving you applause for your courage. They are giving you strength. Why? Because when you make the right decisions, even though it's difficult, do you know what happens? You are changing the destiny of your whole generation in a way it has never been changed before, for the better. And number 2, if your mind is working towards making a change, then understand you are different. Think again about what we talked about earlier regarding this. Imagine winning in the world and then coming home and putting pressure on your family members who have never stepped outside their comfort zone to be like you or think like you. Don't do that instead. Be a good example to them, encourage them, but remember not to quickly try to recreate them like instant noodles. Learn to accept them as they are. That's the hardest thing to do, but you must learn it for your own happiness and peace. It's very important, and really, if no one in your family has ever done the work you are doing and succeeded, they might honestly think we can't do it. Why? Because they never did it before. So they think it can't be done. They may think you are moving in the unsafe direction or acting reckless, because when you make decisions alone, they lose control over you, and they don't like that. Humans are cultivative species. For millions of years we lived together. The need for acceptance for the people around us, for our trip, is very strong. In the past, we had a real fear that if our tribe disliked us, we would be cast out and left to die. Even today, no matter how developed we've become, that sensitivity still remains. That's why when our relatives or family don't give us the acceptance we need, we feel it as weakness, as rejection. But the reason you feel that is not because you are weak, it's because your tribe is afraid. Since we are species, to them you are different, to them you are trait. And number 3, during the day you will have to steer your compass in the right direction. I've heard another beautiful story about why we must keep our days in the right path and stay on track daily. This was told by an Arab female influencer named Laila Kaisol. She said, Her father was once a skin sailor, and when teaching her to sail, he told her if a ship even slightly, by a very small degree, turns left or right off its intended course, it will ultimately not end up at the destination but in a completely wrong direction. So each day you have to keep adjusting yourself back to the direction you want to go. That's your responsibility. James Clear also writes about this in his book Atomic Habits, using the example of airplane and flight paths. Number 4. You will have to overcome small obstacles on your way to your dream. We need to do small things now. If possible, do it right now. Right after listening to this video, think, what is your life goal? And what are the things currently stopping you from getting there? Write them down point by point. For example, if you want to become a flight attendant and you need to improve your English, that's one point. If you need to get your body in good shape by exercising, that's another point. If you need to learn how to organize yourself properly, that's another point. List out everything you need to do but haven't yet done to reach your goal. And every day, spend at least half an hour working on one of those points. If you can give more times, even better, but to feel that you are moving towards your goal, you must face those small obstacles and conquer them. You can take course, find relevant programs, and so on. The self-confidence that you deserve what you are seeking will come to you in this way. Whatever field you are working in, this is how you must work through the challenge, standing between you and your goals if you are truly want to succeed. Even John C. Maxwell talks about this method. Number 5. You have to stop trying to prove yourself to everyone. I am not going to tell you a big story here. But just remember this one thing. We often talk about the fact that only 1% of the world's population surpasses others and grows. Most people try to reach that level. But the truth is, not everyone is willing to make the sacrifices needed for that. And most people don't do what you are doing. The problem is, no matter how hard you work, you still want appreciation from people around you. Sometimes you will expect validation from relatives, friends, siblings, but here's the reality. Since they've seen your flaws, they may think it's difficult for you to reach your goal. So when you share your hopes and goals with them, what you often see in their eyes is doubt about your ability. But that's not the real problem. The real issue is that you keep wasting your time trying to prove yourself, convincing them, hoping for their approval. Sometimes this can even become heartbreaking. That's why you need to know this, so you can prevent a lot of heartbreak. So stop always trying to prove yourself to others. Number 6. The right moment will come in your journey. That moment will completely change you. In our lives, when we work towards something, there is always magical moment that happens along the way. As you keep working daily towards your goals, there will come a moment when you start to become recognized by others. If you are a businessman, you might suddenly see a huge rise in your sales. If you are an influencer, maybe one of your videos or one piece of your content will go more viral than ever before. Let me give you an example. Simon Sinek. If you are research, personal development even a little, you are definitely see him. 14 years ago, he gave a TED talk that changed his life. That video has been watched over 19 million times. But before doing that speech, he was already a public speaker. However, after that speech, his value increased by millions of dollars. That's the magical moment I am talking about. Another example is Michelle Obama. She wrote the famous book, Becoming. In its 15 chapters, she written an amazing story about her husband, former US President Barack Obama. Years earlier, Barack Obama had written a book called Dreams for My Father, but for almost 6 years after its release, hardly anyone knew about it. Then one day during an interview he spoke about it, and because of what he said, the book became a New York Times bestseller, breaking sales records. That's the magical moment that happened. So remember, for the day of your success to come, you still have to work in the days before it. Number 7 is, don't expect results in just a day or two. Think of it like this. You are trying to break down a huge wall. That wall represents your biggest goal in life. And you are given a big hammer. Now imagine you only break through the wall at the 100th strike of the hammer. But the truth is, it's not just the 100th strike that broke the wall. It's the accumulation of every single strike before it. The first, the 10th, the 16th, the 60th, the 80th, all of them. In the same way, achieving big results doesn't come from one effort. You have to keep going day after day. Study this. So, now take a deep breath and start working on your plan step by step. Whatever you do, do it properly. And good luck. See you soon.